Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Listen, I know a lot of fans out there feel like we have not been informed enough about this Jimmy Butler to Miami or Jimmy Butler to somewhere trade. Last we heard, Minnesota owner Glenn Taylor said he was going to accommodate Jimmy Butler's trade demand out of Minnesota. Said he didn't want to play with Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns. He wanted out. He talked to Thibodeau in Los Angeles, and even then, it looks like they came to the conclusion that, or Jimmy came to the conclusion that he didn't want to play in Minnesota anymore. Here's where we're at with it. There's not a lot to tell people. There's not a lot of updates. Minnesota has been actively talking to one team. Other teams have reached out, but there's one team with an offer on the table that Minnesota is interested in. The Miami Heat are offering a deal that centers around, there's going to be some picks included as well, but the core of the trade will be Jimmy Butler going to Miami for Josh Richardson and Bam. I call him but his name is like Bam Abaddua or something like that, out of Kentucky. He's a big man prospect, pretty much like he's pretty much around the rim, right? A DeAndre Jordan type prospect. He can jam things home. He doesn't really have a mid-range game or even like a lot of post moves. He's just around the rim. He's going to be probably a really decent player, very athletic player. He's going to probably turn into a good defender just on sheer athleticism alone. But again, best case scenario, he's Dwight Howard. Worst case scenario, he's somewhere around JaVale McGee. And I believe DeAndre Jordan is probably somewhere in between those guys, which is where he might be in the next couple of years, right? So that's a good piece, though. You put that alongside Karl Anthony Towns, you got to make things work, but maybe you can figure something out. That's a good piece. Josh Richardson, he's probably a miniature Jimmy Butler right now, right? Without the years in the league and the star power and all that. Here's the reality of the situation. Jimmy Butler has told the Minnesota Timberwolves he's willing to go to Miami. The reason why that's important because he's on the last year of his deal, and if he tells Miami, yo, I'm not signing long term, they're obviously not going to give up two of their young prospects. They just re-signed Josh Richardson to a nice deal, a team-friendly deal, by the way, for what he provides for that team. And bam, they got a couple years left on his deal. He's young, still on a rookie deal. They're not going to give these guys away if they're not going to be able to sign Jimmy Butler long term. Now, to sign Jimmy Butler long term, you're going to have to give him max money. Obviously, it'll be 1 year less because he'll be on a 4-year deal. But again, they want to make sure that Jimmy B is committed to them long term before they make this type of trade. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. Josh Richardson and Jimmy Butler are similar. These are both second-round picks, right? And guys that we didn't expect a lot from in the NBA. They just worked hard, and they've kind of made themselves into good players. Jimmy Butler, again, obviously more known, has done more in this league. He was on a very bad Chicago Bulls team. He got more looks than Josh Richardson. I think Jimmy B in the post is better than Josh right now. He's definitely stronger than Josh Richardson. I think Josh Richardson is right around the corner, though. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm Minnesota, I get why you want to make this deal happen. I don't know if I want to make this deal happen if I'm Miami, but we'll play this game, right? If you're Minnesota, and they're pushing for this deal to get done, by the way, they're actively telling the Miami Heat, look, this is the best deal you're going to find on the market. You need to take this deal right now. We're giving you Jimmy Butler for Josh Richardson and Bam, right? They're like, yo, you need to take this deal right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. I get Josh Richardson for a third of what I'm going to pay Jimmy Butler. To me, it's close enough in regards to who's better. I give Jimmy Butler the slight edge, but he just doesn't crap on Josh Richardson. Josh Richardson is a really good player. The problem in Miami is they got too many people around the same spot. It's that same team like Denver, right? It's just too many guys around the same area, like the same type of talent, same type. You need to get rid of some of those pieces, right? The Lakers as well. They got too many borderline C+, close to B players on the team. You need to get rid of some of that. That's the same problem here in Miami. And Josh probably doesn't get the time or the amount of attention with the ball, or he doesn't get the amount of possessions to be a star. I think he has that type of talent. I know I went to college with him. I know he comes with a less amount of baggage than a Jimmy Butler does, less attitude, less of a diva. Honest to God, truth, Josh just want to go to concerts in his free time and play his Fortnite game. All right, like that's really what he's into. Like, he ain't like a high maintenance type dude. He ain't really a spotlight type dude. If I can get Josh Richardson for what? If I'm Minnesota, they like, yo, if I can get maybe close to that player without the attitude And maybe he works better with Wiggins and personalities match up. And I think their personalities would match up a little better than Jimmy Butler and Wiggins. I think that might work. You know, Karl Anthony Towns plays Fortnite. And maybe him and Josh. I think it'll work, right? And then you're going to bring Bam over with him. I get why. Minnesota's like, come on, Miami, let's make this deal happen now. Jimmy don't want to be here. Let's go get Josh Richardson and Bam. We'll take that. Again, on Miami side, I look at it from either way. You could just keep Josh Richardson and Bam, trade other guys, because they really want to trade Hassan Whiteside and Dion Waiters. These two guys are the guys they wanted to keep, right? They want two other guys. So do you combat a problem with a problem? Do you bring in Jimmy Butler when you already got issues in your locker room with Hassan Whiteside? Or you can look at it like, you know, we got to bring a star in. Jimmy Butler, say what you want, people know his name. He's the top 25 name in the NBA. They got to sell some tickets. They're getting past the D-Wade era. And if you're trying to keep this thing afloat, maybe Jimmy Butler sells more, and he'll sell more tickets than a Josh Richardson, which will help. And maybe Jimmy Butler is ready to compete with a Hassan Whiteside and go to war. I don't know. I think if I'm Miami, I keep Josh Richardson and Bam, right? If you're Minnesota, you try to make this move. And no disrespect to Jimmy Butler, I just don't want to pay him $35 million. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't want to pay him $30 million, period. I don't want to get close to that number with him. I just rather have somebody else. Too many times, man. That Minnesota team should have been better than what they were last year, period. Too many times, man. And by the way, I don't give him a pass for that. Remember that D-Wade and Jimmy Butler Chicago team that lost to Boston in the first round when they had them up? Like, no, I'm cool on Jimmy Butler. Has not shown me he knows how to win. And I don't think he's a number one option in this league. A really good number two, maybe a number three. I don't want him being a number one. And I just keep Josh and Bam if I'm Miami. And if I'm Minnesota, I'm pushing to get this trade done. And that's what they're doing. They're trying their best right now to make Miami take this offer. Like, yo, take it. Take it. Take it. We want him. Take it. We're giving up a star. Take it. So I will keep you guys up to date. Again, that is the latest I have for you. Pretty much a standstill. And the season starts in about a week and a half. So Jimmy Butler's going to have to just report at some point soon if no trade gets worked out. A tough situation he put Minnesota in. Be honest, if you wanted to get traded, you should have had that energy at the beginning of the summer. You make it tough right now to get traded. Obviously, guys have already gotten into camp. We already playing preseason games. People have already got comfortable in their systems. I'm sure coaches and GMs have already promised some of these players on different teams around the league stuff. So now you look like a fool if you just blow up the team after you did media day and all that and go make a trade and give up 3 or 4 of your young players for Jimmy Butler. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel organic. So everybody's in a tough spot right now. I get it. Thank y'all so much for the time, love, support. I don't take it for granted. Salute. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. They are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO'S.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the Triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.